Hi everyone, here's your homework help video for 3.2. For questions 1 through 3, it's just asking you to simplify the expression. Please notice that you have the same variables, so these are the same terms. 4f plus 11f is 15f. For number 2, you also have the same variables. You have 3 terms, b plus 4b, so that's 5b, minus 9b. So at this point, all that you're doing is you're subtracting the coefficients. 5 minus 9 is negative 4 b's. And in question number 3, you do have different variables and different terms. So we have negative 4 z's, and then we have negative 7 z's. So when we combine these, we do negative 4 minus 7, so that's negative 11 z's. And then we have negative 6 plus 3, so that would be minus 3. For questions 4 through 6, evaluate the expression when x equals negative 4/5 and y is a third. This will incorporate substitution. So for question number 4, we have negative 4/5 plus 1/3. We need common denominators, and those will be 15. So negative 4/5, we know we multiply 5 times 3 to get 15, so we would multiply the negative 4 times 3, and that would be negative 12. And on the right side, we'd multiply 3 times 5, so we multiply 1 times 5. So we now have negative 12/15 plus 5/15, that's going to be negative 7/15. For number 5, we'll rewrite this as 2 times negative 4/5 plus 6 times a third. For this problem, I think our best bet is going to be to first acknowledge that 2 is really 2 over 1. So we're going to do 2 over 1 times negative 4/5 plus 6 over 1 times a third. And now we're going to look at each of these in isolation. So we're going to look at this first multiplication problem and then this one. So 2 times negative 4, that's negative 8. And 1 times 5 is 5. On the right side, we'll do 6 times 1 is 6, and 1 times 3 is 3. So next, we need to find common denominators, which again will be 15. On the top here, on the left side, we did 5 times 3, so we'll do 3 times negative 8, that's negative 24. On the right side, we multiply by 5. So 6 times 5 is 30. And negative 24 plus 30, that's going to be 6/15. And then we'll just divide by 3 over 3 to simplify, and we'll get 2/5. And then for number 6, here we'll have negative x. So we're going to do negative 4/5 plus 4 times y, which is 1/3. So now, just looking here at the negative 4/5, that's basically saying the opposite of negative 4/5. The opposite of negative 4/5 would just be positive 4/5. Then we're going to add, and let's write 4 as a fraction, 4 over 1 times 1 over 3. Order of operations tells us we have to do this multiplying first. So 4 times 1 is 4, 1 times 3 is 3. And then we get 4/5, and once again we have to find common denominators, and it is once again going to be a denominator of 15. On the left side, we multiply by 3 over 3, so we get 12/15. On the right side, we multiply by 5 over 5, so we get 20/15. So that's 32/15. And 32/15 would be the same as 2 and 2/15. Sorry, I got a little cramped there, but 2 and 2/15. For questions 11 through 17, we're adding the linear expressions and we're asked to find the sum. So one thing we can do is get rid of the parentheses. We have 7 minus b plus 3b plus 2. Now from here, I see that I have a negative b and a plus 3b. So when I combine those, it's going to give me 2b. And then I have a 7 as a constant and a 2 as a constant. So when I combine those, it's going to give me 9, 2b plus 9. For number 13, we have 2x minus 6 plus 4x minus 12. I see that I have 2 x's and I have plus 4 x's, so altogether that's going to be 6 x's. And then I have minus 6 minus 12. So when I combine those, that is negative 18. So here I have 6x minus 18. On to number 5. We'll rewrite this one as well. This is going to be negative 7 halves z plus 4 plus 1/5 z minus 15. So here I have negative 7 halves z plus 1/5 z, and then I have 4 minus the 15. So 4 minus 15, I know that's going to give me negative 11. Now combining the fractions though, that's going to require me to get common denominator, and my common denominator between these two will be 10. I'm adding these. 2 times 5 got me to 10, so I'm also going to multiply the negative 7 times 5. Negative 7 times 5 is negative 35. On the other side, on the right side, I'm going to multiply 5 times 2 to get 10. So 1 times 2 is 2. So then negative 35 plus 2 is negative 33 tenths. And my variable was z. Now you could have also written this differently. You could have changed negative 33 tenths, and you could have written this as negative 11 minus 3 and 3 tenths z. And then you also could have changed the order, and you could have done negative 3 and 3 tenths z minus 11. And all of those would be correct. Now on to number 17. So we have 7/4 x minus 5 plus 2y minus 3.5 plus negative 1/4 x plus 5. So it just looks messy, but don't let it overcome you. 7/4 x and negative 1/4 x. 7/4 x minus 1/4 x is just 6/4 x. We have negative 5, we have negative 3.5, and we have positive 5. So the negative 5 and the positive 5, those just cancel out. So we have negative 3.5. And then we have this plus 2y. So even though that looked really messy, when you break this down, it's not crazy. We have 6/4 x minus 3.5 plus 2y. And then if you simplified the fraction, 3/2 x minus 3.5 plus 2y. For questions 19 through 25, we're now being asked to find the difference. And these ones become a little bit more challenging because we have to do something called distributing the negative or distributing the minus sign. So when we do these, it's going to be just slightly different. When we get rid of the parentheses, we have negative 2g plus 7. And now we can see this as a subtraction sign, but what we're actually going to do is we're going to add the opposite of everything. So instead of doing minus positive g, we can just take away g, and then we're going to do minus, or the opposite of adding 11. Opposite of adding 11 would be take away 11. So see, whatever the term is in the parentheses, you are just going to write its opposite. So think of adding negatives or changing everything to the opposite. And now you can just combine your like terms as we have been. Negative 2g minus g is negative 3g. And then 7 minus 11 is minus 4. So negative 3g minus 4. For number 21, we'll rewrite it. 4 minus 5y. And now this minus sign actually means we're going to distribute and we're going to do the opposite. So the opposite of 2y is minus 2y. And the opposite of minus 16 is plus 16. So now we'll go 4 plus 16, that's 20, minus 5y minus 2y is negative 7y. Question number 23, we have negative 1/8 c plus 16. Now we'll do the opposite of 3/8, which is minus 3/8, and the opposite of plus 3c, which is minus 3c. So now I see that we have negative 1/8 c and negative 3c, so that's going to be negative 3 and 1/8 c. And then I have 16 minus 3/8, so that's going to be positive 15 and 5/8. So for number 23, we have negative 3 and 1/8 c plus 15 and 5/8. And for number 25, we have a third minus 6m, and then we'll distribute this minus, which tells us we're going to do the opposite of everything. So instead of having 1/4 n, we will take away 1/4 n. And instead of subtracting 8, we will add 8. So I have 1/3 and 8. All right, so that's going to be 8 1/3. I have negative 6m and I have negative 1/4 n, and we cannot combine any of those terms because they are all different. So I have 8 1/3 minus 6m minus 1/4 n. In number 28, we know that the expression 17n plus 11 represents the perimeter of the triangle, and the perimeter is all three sides added together. What is the length of the third side? So what we'll need to do is take the perimeter, subtract leg 1, subtract leg 2, and that will give us the length of leg 3. So let's use the vertical method, and let's subtract. 11 minus 6, those are both like terms. 11 minus 6 is 5. And 17n and 5n, those are like terms. So 17 minus 5 is 12. So we have 12n plus 5 after we've taken away the 5n plus 6. So now we need to take away from this the 4n plus 5. So we're using our vertical method still. 5 minus 5 is 0. And 12n minus 4n is 8n. So for number 28, we would just say that the length of the hypotenuse, or the long leg, is 8n. Finally, for number 30, it says you burn 265 calories running and then 7 calories per minute swimming. Your friend burns 273 calories running and then 11 calories per minute swimming. You each swim for the same number of minutes. Find and interpret the difference in the amount of calories burned. So the difference means subtract. So we're going to take our friend, and our friend burns 273 calories and 11 calories per minute. So we're going to say 11 calories times minutes plus 273. That's our friend. And then you burn 265 calories and you burn 7 calories per minute. So we're going to subtract these, and we get 8. That's the difference in calories that you burned running. And then the difference in calories you burn swimming is going to be 4 calories per minute. So M represents minutes. So the difference is you burn, or your friend burns 4 more calories per minute swimming, plus they burned 8 more calories than you running. 4M plus 8.